Hey YouTube, it's Creeper Crawler. Hey, we'll do a little quick update video here for you today.
Well, I had this frame kicking around for a while. It's the AMF. As you can see, it's pretty well stripped down. And the reason it's stripped down, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a big gap right here where it got bent the last ride. You can see it's already got, this is actually for tire clearance from the factory, but it makes a very weak point. So I want to do away with that. But first I gotta straighten these out basically. Just gonna run these clamps down and get it straight. But that's a pretty basic project over there. So we'll take you over what's been happening on the truck. Got the upper link mounts done. Working on putting cross members in it today. Want to try to get 2 of them in. Basically, these are just going to go inside the frame, and then have a piece of plate that plates the inside of the frame with a hole in it, and it'll get welded around there. I want to get rid of this cross member. I wish I didn't have to, but someone had already cut. See, you can't really tell in the video, but so this is supposed to be, my finger shouldn't go through here. They torched out the bottom of this. Did the same thing to the other side. I'm not really sure why. It was part of the coil spring mounts, I'm sure, but they did a real crap job of it with the torch. So I was going to try to make a piece to reattach this so I could use this top part because it's fine, but for the amount of effort that's going to be, I can just knock these 4 rivets out, drop this cross member out, and just do another tubular one back here, and it'll work just as good. But I did make my bump stop mounts. A lot of this stuff's just tacked in. It's sitting on full bump right now. The bump stops are going to work out good. Cardboard's mocking up a little brace I'm going to do between the bump stop mount and the airbag mount here. And I'm waiting for a new die for my bender to make my shock mounts. Shock is right here. Gonna go about like that. Basically, there'll be a piece of tubing come out of here and wrap around, and then they'll get tied into the bottom of this, the bottom of the frame to be strong, and then just little tabs off the tube to mount it. I've got to do that for the other side too. Then once I get my bender, I'll have this cross member in here, and then I'll do a brace basically from kind of the bottom there to over here, but it'll have to have a big hoop in it to clear the drive shaft, which is mocked in with this piece of pipe here. And then I will do another hoop cross member that comes from the bottom corner right there, kind of up and over the rear end at full bump, and then back to the bump stop on the other side. Because these are cantilevered off the side of the frame, not a lot, but obviously they're to the outside. So when the force comes up, when you bottom the suspension out, basically it's going to try to roll the frame out. Not a lot, most of the force is up, but where the up, basically has nowhere to go, it's going to try to, I'm guessing, anyways in my head, the way I see it, is it's going to try to tweak this out. So if I can tie the bottom of this to the bottom of the other one, then it won't be able to go out. I guess it could, but not the kind of forces we're dealing with. So it should strengthen that up a lot. Getting pretty close to being done on the back here. I'm going to do a little bit of bracing on the inside of the frame rails here. Not a full plate in job, but some maybe scaffolding looking stuff to tie it together. Because basically what I've done when I got to looking at this is, even though these are my suspension mounts, it more or less made a frame brace from here where they start. All this is all box 1/8 inch, and it goes clear up under there, clear back into here, and then that's going to tie that together. So it's making a weak spot in my frame basically right there. Because if you look, this gas tank skid plate has I think 6 or 8 1/2 inch bolts tying it to this, and it ends basically right there. So in between here and here is where it's going to bend if it was to bend. So because this is much stronger than factory, this out through here is way stronger than factory, so that's my weak point. So what I want to do is come on the inside and put a plate from here to here to tie all this together. To basically, I'm not so much worried about trying to strengthen the frame, it's just I don't want a super strong part here and a super strong part here with a weak spot in the middle, because it will be pulling a trailer. So as you're going over bumps and it's taking a load, you don't want it flexing on just this one spot all the time. Eventually it'll fatigue and possibly crack, and we don't want that. So just, it's a lot easier to think about stuff a little bit, do a little bit of preventative, thing, I know that's where the weak spot is. Go ahead and do that. The nice thing about here is it's kind of going to do the same thing because you have this big stiff member, and then that's coming up to this thinner part of the frame. So I'll probably put some sort of bracing on the inside of the frame, maybe starting here and then kind of going to maybe, you know, taper it out, try to make it so where it can flex this uniformly instead of just right at this point. But really, as strong as the whole thing is, you know, the flex right here should be pretty minimal, especially if I can get it up kind of maybe to here on the internal frame brace, and that'll tie enough of the front and rear together that the flex shouldn't matter. Oh yeah, that's more like it there. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pretty freaking impressed by it. It's not perfect, but it's definitely good enough for the AMF.
Alrighty guys, well that's it for this this update. I know I kept it a little shorter. I have trouble staying motivated to edit the longer ones, so we'll try a couple more of these shorter ones. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you aren't already, I imagine if you're watching this, you probably already are. But I do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in to check out my stuff. Thanks guys. We'll see you later.